Ladies and gentlemen, let me have the pleasure of introducing the chairperson, Mr. Mohan Samaranayake. Mr. Mohan Samaranayake, presently the chairman of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, is a BA honours degree holder from the University of Ceylon. He started his journalistic career joining the Davasa newspaper in 1977 as a sub-editor. In 1982, he joined the news division of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation as an assistant news editor. From 1988 to 1990, he served as a senior editor and information officer of the information department of the then Soviet Union Embassy in Colombo. He joined the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation in 1990 as the chief news editor of its news division, and was appointed Director, News and Current Affairs of the corporation the following year. In 1994, he was promoted to the post of Deputy Director in General, News and Current Affairs of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. In 1995, he joined the UN Information Center of Colombo as the National Information Officer. He had journalistic training in several foreign countries, including the United States of America, the Soviet Union, India, and Thailand. Ladies and gentlemen, I hand the proceedings for this session to the chair. Sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Secretary, Ministry of Defense and Urban Development, service commanders, top officers from the 3 armed services, distinguished guests, invitees, ladies and gentlemen. As you are already aware, the topic of the current session is nation building. According to my studies, the term nation building entered the world political and development lexicon in the early years of the last century. This was necessary subsequent to the devastating wars that took place during the last century, especially the World War I and the World War II. That was because these devastating wars almost ruined many of the countries of the world. So hence the need for nation building. Then the second half of the last century witnessed a new trend in world armed conflicts. That was, on one hand, the rapid decrease in the number of armed conflicts or wars between states, between countries. On the other hand, the unprecedented increase in the number of conflicts within territories. There was a proliferation of internal conflicts during the latter part of the last century. If I am to quote one of the UN studies, according to which in the year 1992, there were altogether 82 armed conflicts all over the world. Of these 82 armed conflicts, only 3 were between states, between countries. The remaining 79 were within territories. Of these 79 armed conflicts, about 8 or 9 were based on Marxist ideology, such as the FARC in Colombia or the Maoist rebellion in Nepal. The rest, nearly 70 armed conflicts, were based on ethnic divisions. These internal armed conflicts almost ruined the countries which faced them. For example, if you take Rwanda, which was going through a bitter armed conflict since its independence reached, reached its devastating climax in 1994 with the assassination of presidents of both Rwanda and neighboring Burundi. Immediately after the assassination of these two presidents, within 5 months, 1/10 of the Rwandan population was massacred, killed, slaughtered. Rwandan population was 8 million, nearly 1 million people were killed within 5 months. In Zaire, Congo, within 3 years, 3 million people perished as a result of these internal armed conflicts. So the term nation building acquired an added significance during this period. In my country, Sri Lanka, also witnessed such a devastating bitter war conflict for 30 years. With the end of the 30 years war, Sri Lankan government, headed by His Excellency the President Mahinda Rajapaksa, started building the nation. But nation building means really, it is really self-explanatory, building the nation. Nation is needed to build if there is no nation, or if the nation which was existing disintegrated or faced massive destruction. But we didn't experience such a devastation in this country. However, the 30-year long conflict brought misery, destruction, and the deterioration of social fabric. The destruction was massive. With the end of the 30-year-long conflict, government started nation building with massive projects based on the ideology which we call in this country Mahinda Chintana and Mahinda Chintana Idiridakma. So, in Sri Lanka's context, now today we have two eminent personalities to talk about nation building in Sri Lanka. First, we have Mr. Ajit Niwad Cabral and Mr. Arun Thambimuthu. Let me first introduce Mr. Ajit Niwad Cabral to you. Mr. Ajit Niwad Cabral serves as the 12th governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. It is just across the road. And the chairman of the Monetary Board since July 2006. He currently functions as an alternate governor of the International Monetary Fund, IMF. He is a former chairman of the CSN Board of Governors and SAARC Governors Forum. Mr. Cabral is also past president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka and South Asian Federation of Accountants. Prior to his appointment as the governor, Mr. Cabral was the advisor to His Excellency the President on Economic Affairs and the Secretary, Ministry of Plan Implementation. In the year 2005, Mr. Cabral was closely associated in the development of the Mahinda Chintana, which I mentioned before, which currently serves as the policy framework and development plan of the government. During the period Mr. Cabral has served as the governor, he has been able to steer the transformation of the Sri Lankan economy to be a safe and stable investment destination and a middle-income emerging market nation. He also provided leadership to several heavily oversubscribed international bond issues. At the same time, the central bank, under Mr. Cabral's guidance, has been able to maintain sound and stable macroeconomic fundamentals, with inflation being contained to low levels and the financial system stability being achieved in a time of severe global uncertainties and turmoil. Mr. Cabral is the author of the books, namely Towards a Sri Lankan Renaissance, and Lak Mavata Mutu Potak. That's a singular term, a string of pearls for Mother Lanka. Now, Mr. Ajit Niwad Cabral, over to you.